Gentlemen, the time's come once again to discuss things.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentleman Holiday Month. I am Santa Part 2. Joining me today is...
The real Krampus.
Yes, and we are here to discuss another fan film. Manos ended up picking this fan film. What is it called, Manos?
It is Jason Xmas.
Indeed. Indeed it is. So it turned out, just like with History Month, we have to kind of really narrow the field of what we can pick, right? And so it turned out there were a lot of horror-based fan films for Christmas, which is kind of fitting. I think there is an appetite out there amongst the horror fan base for more Christmas-themed horror movies.
Gee, it's like Christmas causes a feeling of depression and such.
Yeah. So this is, there was Scream, there was Psycho, there's a bunch of ones like that, which maybe will get covered, maybe not. So I watched this with Haley, and she has a tendency that if she finds something silly, she can't just, let it go with a laugh. She's got to comment on it. And so we were watching this one, and yeah, Haley was talking a lot through this.
Was she riffing on it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, I look at this, and some of the choices they make, they have to know this is silly. There's no way they're like, oh, this is going to be, really scary. No, they have to know they're doing a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff, right?
Yes, of course. Look, well, the premise is the Santa Claus with Jason.
Right.
So, obviously, they're not going to be too hardcore serious with it.
Oh my god. It starts as such just a normal, okay, yeah, it's Jason, but it's Christmas time. Alright, yeah, I guess this makes sense. And it's not inconceivable that you could have well, no, if it's Christmas Day, then yes, you will not have a Friday the 13th. But it's not inconceivable you could have a Friday the 13th in December. So I guess, it's all just fine. And then the fucking Santa Claus up on the roof happens, and it takes a turn, man. It really starts going at a certain point, doesn't it?
It does. And because it pretty much starts out almost like a typical Jason scenario with him chasing the guy's daughter, and you're wondering why doesn't this guy care so much? And then you're right, of course, when Santa, which to me I felt was kind of jarring.
It does not get set up whatsoever. He just is on the roof, and then he dies, and then all of a sudden Jason has magical powers.
Yes. And then he's gone. What did a decoration fall? No, that was moving. That was a guy.
Yep.
So it was a little bit caught off guard. It took me a second to kind of adjust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a turn and a half. I don't know. What did you think of this?
I think it might be my second favorite Jason movie. After Don't Hike Alone or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite Jason movie.
Uh-huh. So what you're saying is the fans know how to handle Jason, at least to your taste, better than the studios.
Beginning to think so. Because look, I'm not a Friday the 13th fan, and I'm not a Jason fan. And I don't know, he's just a really lame, cliched monster that just really snowballed and kind of caught on and was right there at the right moment. And I've never been a big fan of him. But here's two fan films that I really kind of enjoyed. And it really does make me feel like maybe the studio should just drop the shit and just kind of like play around with the character and just kind of have fun with it. And
Well, they were doing stuff like that for a little bit. You had Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell, which really are in line with exactly this. It's just, okay, what kind of bullshit can we contrive to get Jason into the future? Or what kind of bullshit can we contrive to get Jason in hell? Or what kind of bullshit can we contrive to get Jason and Freddy to fight?
I don't know. It's just... Well, maybe in that case. I just never cared. I've never cared for this character, but I don't know. Last 2 times we've seen him done in really interesting ways through these fan films.
And, like, it's 2 very different tones to talk about this along with Never Hike Alone, right? Like, Never Hike Alone legitimately makes Jason really scary again. He's not campy at all. This turns the camp up to 11 with Jason.
Yes, it does.
And it's I don't know, it's pretty entertaining, but almost in spite of itself. Like, I don't know, I get that weird feeling like they wanted this to be a joke, and I'm laughing at it like it's a joke, but I'm laughing at it maybe harder than they wanted me to. I'm not sure what that feeling is. Like, when Jason is about to kill the girl, but then accidentally gets picked up by the sleigh because she rings the jingle bells toward the end, and you just see the reindeer and the sleigh and Jason hanging on for dear life. I'm like, that's really funny, but it's also just like so obviously a really like poorly animated silhouette, and I'm just kind of laughing my ass off at it.
It makes a good use of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's like some stuff in here that I'm just like, God, this is silly. This is just really, really silly. And then like, it just doesn't even know how to end. It feels like it's weird to talk about because this is a supercut of a series that looked like they posted stuff maybe 2 years apart. So maybe it'd be a little unfair to say that like they don't know how to end it, but like it has like Lord of the Rings syndrome. It ends like 4 times. So
I did have a laugh with news breaking with Jennifer breaking.
That one's good. You know, Jason getting to the North Pole at the end and killing all the elves is pretty funny. Like okay, you gotta really break it down. It's not that he got to the North Pole and killed all the elves. It's that he got to the North Pole, killed all the elves, waited a year, and then delivered their body parts like he's actually Santa Claus. Which doesn't really seem like much of a Jason thing to do. You think he might have killed the reindeer too, you know?
Yeah, who helped him with that? Did he do that all by himself?
Mm-hmm. Right. Just stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, it's so ridiculous. But let me ask you this. This is much more farce or parody than it is like meant to actually be taken seriously.
Correct.
Does that give it more leeway to get away with some stuff that's just, you know, not done well?
Well, that would depend. Like, if you're talking like
filmmaking stuff.
Filmmaking, no.
Okay.
I believe, unless it's done on accident, like Birdemic, for instance, then that's funny. Mm-hmm. If you're doing like an intended comedy and there's just some bits wrong about the actual pacing and storytelling, well, that's more on them.
Okay. Because, like, I'm watching this and, like, I don't know. I guess I don't have a really good handle on if Jason's just straight teleporting in this or if he's actually walking around still, because, like, there's that scene in their garage before the father character dies. And, like, they act like, you know, I don't believe in Santa Claus, Jason, and he has to disappear or whatever. I don't know if Jason like leaves or if he vanishes and then reappears, because like it almost has to be that he vanishes and then reappears behind him. Because if he just leaves, that means he walked out of the garage, grabbed an icicle, and then walked back into the garage and they didn't notice him. But like that's not effectively communicated by the piece. So it's like there's some filmmaking stuff in here that's like just really kind of silly, and not necessarily a way that I feel they intended. It makes it feel a little awkward to me because at what point is it funny to watch because they're actually trying to be funny and silly with this horror character, turn up the camp? And at what point is it funny to watch because they're just not making a good film?
Let's see. I guess hopefully maybe they're trying to do both.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's some. I guess we can get into some complaints about it because don't get me wrong. I actually mostly like this.
I'm
but there are
middle of the road on it.
Yeah, there's some technical problems here and there. First off, some of the storytelling I think was a bit jarring, particularly like when Santa first appears and dies.
Mm-hmm.
I really was caught off guard by it. There's not any real good introduction to that. And then there's a couple of scenes here and there where I was kind of like a little bit lost.
Such as?
So let's see. Well, like when Jason was chasing them, and was he here? Was he there? I don't know. And
yeah. There's really bad camera work when Jason's chasing them around the house. Like they're just talking in a room. We don't have any idea of the layout of the room, whether there's multiple exits. Randomly, you don't see a door open or anything, I don't think. It's been a day or two since I watched it. You don't see a door open or anything. They just say, like, Jason just is there suddenly, and they're like, move, run! And then, like, they just leave, but you don't see what door they leave through, There's just a lot of, like... There's no establishing shots.
Yes.
And that's just a problem on a filmmaking level that, like, you kind of just go, like you lose the sense of space in a scene. And so, like, it's not a matter of like, oh, well, we wanted this to be surprising or we wanted this to be funny. That's a matter of you just didn't know how to shoot that. Which isn't, like, certainly I'm not one to talk when it comes to my filmmaking at well-structured scenes and stuff. It's just, these are things to think about it as these filmmakers we talk about continue to make more and more and more. It's like, hey, remember establishing shots are important.
Yes. And also you can probably view some fan films as like, this is kind of their film school, so they're kind of learning.
Mm-hmm. That's how I tend to think of these things, which is why I try to, even if I really like a thing, I try to get as precise with complaints about scenes as I can, because there's just these things that, how else are you gonna find out that this is a problem, unless someone like brings it up.
Yeah. Yes.
What else with this one? There's some other stuff too with the filmmaking side of it, like. It's pretty long as is, but just story-wise, things just kind of happen because we need things to conclude.
Yeah.
I have no idea what motivates the girl to pick up the jingle bells.
True. I don't know. Is that like a real Christmas myth where if you jingle bells, the reindeer come? I don't
know. It doesn't. I don't know anything about that. Like, I just watched the Netflix Santa movie with Jeff Bridges. Bridges. Kurt Russell.
Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell. I just watched that one, and like the jingle bells there allow the reindeer to fly or whatever. And like the jingle bells in Christmas mythology seem pretty damn complicated, and so if you want to go like, oh well, the best way to summon the reindeer is to jingle bells. Like, if you wanted to build that in or something, that's one thing, but like. It's just she just grabs them because they're there, and that feels awkward. Also, everyone's way too cool with finding out Santa's real. Like that's just like, you got the father character, and he's like, oh, what, Santa Claus? I'm like, dude, fucking, you got a zombie serial killer running around. Is Santa Claus really that far of a stretch at this point?
Yeah, you know about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, that's a classic problem with any film or TV show with Santa Claus in it when adults act like they don't know or they think it's a myth. It's like, well, wait, don't you remember? It's like, and look, if you're even a parent and you get your kid some presents and then mystery presents out of nowhere show up.
Yeah, it's like always just gotta assume it's the other parent or some shit. What about single moms? Are single moms terrified about Santa Claus? What?
I know. So I don't know. It's just there's some logical things in Santa Claus films and stories that like people kind of like. Yeah, I wish they would just drop the myth thing. Because I think that's the thing that spoils it. Like if parents were more aware or hip to it, then okay, that's fine. I can live with that. Like they act in real life. Like parents, when you're a kid, like are always acting like, are basically kind of acting as if they're like, they're your guide, for this whole thing. Oh yeah, hey, I know all about Santa, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so like I don't know, just it feels like there's just, to wrap it back to the fan film, it feels like there should have been some kind of conversation like, well, if he's Santa, now he has rules. And like he can't. Now he has rules because Santa Claus has rules. Like that you need that scene. That scene's in like almost every other horror movie, right? Of like, all right, how we got to think logically about how to take down the monster. And we could do, and that's actually a brilliant idea because we would take the Santa Claus rules and apply it in Scream territory, where they go, okay, this is what Santa does. Yeah. All that being said, like I feel like I've been a lot more negative on this one. I did still legitimately enjoy things about this and did crack up about things. When Jason fucking walks over to the chimney, sees the picture of Santa Claus tapping his nose, and then Jason taps his nose, I kind of lost my shit. Yeah, that was really kind of hilarious. And by the way, that little girl scream. She screams twice in this, but holy crap, that is a scream. Right? Yeah, I agree. That's almost, I'll compliment this. I mean, she's almost to the level of like Cheryl Lynn from Twin Peaks, that kind of scream. Yeah. What did you think of the flashbacks? The flashbacks were okay. They had kind of a campiness to them. They remind me of some like 80s campy films. The way they were positioned with the flashbacks to Mrs. Voorhees, which was nice to have her appear in this. You don't get Jason's mom nearly enough. Yeah, I know. She's pretty important to the storyline. I mean, Jesus, she's the villain in the first one, right? Also, of course, that kid playing the younger version of the father, like, I don't know. I mean, did they get that guy's grandson? Because that just seems really authentic to him. Yeah, they do look really similar. Yeah, that was pretty good. I don't know. There was something I liked the way the flashbacks were shot. I thought it was clever to just all have it be from Jason's perspective until he puts the mask on. That seemed just like a really good idea, and how to get away with low budget filmmaking. I was pretty appreciative of that. The performance from Mrs. Voorhees was pretty good too. It's not like groundbreaking or anything, but believably unsettling. It's got like, oh yeah, this is the serial killer's mom. Yeah, I buy that. This is yeah. Just things like that. I thought that was pretty good about it. Well shot so that it looked like it could have been in just the distant past kind of thing. Just stuff like that. Had that nice glossy corner edge to it that made it seem like, the vignette thing. Let's see, what else you want to talk about in this? costuming? What do you think of the no, like seriously, like
Yeah.
I thought the Jason look was pretty on point, and then like to put him in the Santa outfit was pretty fun to see.
It was pretty funny to see like a pretty authentic looking Jason. I think, yeah, I will say this definitely for the makeup and costuming. If that wasn't a convincing looking Jason, I think the joke would have been spoiled a bit.
Definitely. It just works, right? It just looks really, really funny for Jason to be like this zombie, undead, hockey mask wearing guy, and then just guess I'll just put on this Santa coat for no reason, and there it goes. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I want to see the spin-off with like Alien and the spin-off with Predator and the spin-off with Freddy Krueger, where they all kill Santa and gain his powers.
Predator would be really good. That would be my first choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have, I don't know, he sneaks around like Santa. That seems like it'd be pretty appropriate.
Fucking Predator hunts down Santa Claus, Predator versus Santa, and then like he kills him at the end, and as he's going in to collect the trophy, the body disappears, and Predator like puts on the hat as the trophy instead, and then gains the powers of Santa Claus.
Or maybe gains the powers of Santa Claus and is watching all the naughty kids.
Oh, there you go. That'll be a really, really no more coal in your stocking, sir. You are getting just straight murdered.
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna get a spine.
Fucking come down to open presents and you see the fucking dad of the family strung up, skinned alive. Oh man.
There you go. See, writing the sequel.
Yeah, there we go. And well, that's the spin-off, and then the true sequel is the Jason Santa versus Predator Santa.
Yes.
All right, what else with this? Yeah, so the costume was pretty good. The performances were hit and miss.
Sorry, I didn't hear you cut out for a minute.
I said the costume was pretty good. The performances were hit and miss. Did anyone like do a really good performance?
Yeah, they were hit and miss.
Or do you think they were just like, this was just all kind of okay?
Let's see. I liked the performance of the Mrs. Voorhees a lot. I think Jason, I know it's probably funny to say that, but I think he does really good work in the suit. Also, like the little girl, I like a lot. I liked Jennifer Breaking. There is... I'm still laughing about Jennifer Breaking. I'd see. I have some mixed feelings about the father, because he's okay, but the way his character is written, I think works for his performance a lot. Like, he seems kind of like a sociopath. I mean, he fucking like sacrifices his daughter to Jason to get out of, being killed.
Is that exactly what happens? I don't...
That's what I took.
Like, and I guess that's what they're trying to go for, because you have the niece character or whatever be like, I could never forgive you for letting that happen, and I'm like, but it didn't feel that way at the beginning to me. He's just like looking out the window. It's like, when's she gonna be here? And then, like, he seems surprised to find out she's dead, and he's surprised to find out that Jason's after him. Like the impression I got watching it initially was like he's kind of been waiting for years for Jason to come after him.
Yeah.
But now he wasn't like expecting it to be anyone but himself. And then once his daughter's dead, he's like, okay, well, he got my daughter. That makes us even. And I'm like, okay, dude, fucking, you stepped on his hockey mask. Let's not. That's not a human life. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't know. Maybe that is a good point. Maybe he didn't like set it up, but he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is told, his daughter is killed. He does not care. And yeah, they were having problems, but that doesn't seem like it really has any effect on him. And he does mention that, you got her, we're good. I don't know. It just really does feel like, maybe this reunion was a method of him trying to set her up so she would be killed by Jason and Jason would leave him alone. Um, which would also explain, his fairly like his I don't want to say woodenness, but his lack of like emotion towards that. So his performance is okay, but like what is put there on the page for him to do actually kind of makes it work. It actually makes it rather effective.
Okay, I guess I could see that. For me, it's just it felt more like oh, how to put this? It felt more like there was more on the page than the actor was able to give. Like, I feel like if you had a more emotive actor, you would have had a very different reaction to certain scenes. And it wouldn't come off as cold. But maybe, but if you're saying that you think that was an intentional choice.
Yeah, I do think it was an intentional choice as far as the character is concerned. And I think, I think his delivery, I think, works with it. Like, he doesn't give a shit. Like, look, if you wanted the character to seem like, he was upset his daughter was killed, even his estranged daughter, that is not the performance you put out there. But look, from what they were giving me in the script and in a lot of bit of the story, as far as the setups are concerned, I don't know. It just really does feel like, yeah, okay, look, you're gonna kill me? All right, kill my fucking daughter. I don't care. That's that's the coldness I got out of that.
I guess that's fair. That seems reasonable.
I do think his niece Michelle. I unfortunately didn't particularly care for her performance. She cares that his daughter is killed, and that just does. I don't know. I don't think she had the strength of performance to really pull off what she's supposed to be pulling off.
Okay,
it's probably the weakest of the performances in the film. Although, granted, she is the one who's asked to do the most. She she has the most heavy lifting to do in the film.
Yeah, everyone else has to just be pretty one note. She's got a lot of ranges she has to go through, and I just don't think the actress, at least at the time, had the range for this.
Correct.
But with fan film actors, can always go back to who you can get. Let's talk about that, because you made me think of something else with the plot of this that just did feel really forced. Was there any real need to connect this guy back to Jason as a childhood bully? Did that seem too far-fetched to you?
Not really, because Jason has always been about killing those that wronged him. He's basically got Nixon's enemy list. I don't know why he's never gotten around to this guy, but I guess hey, he's getting there.
It's a long list of people that wronged Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, I don't know why he lives near Crystal Lake.
Yeah, you figure that'd be the motivation of there's an undead zombie who you wronged in the past. You figured, about time to move down to Florida.
Yeah, it's time to move to Finland. Mm-hmm. Fuck living in this country. I'm going. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna go to Holland. It's really nice. It's healthcare. It's not Jason.
There's no Jasons. Yeah.
I just have to learn how to pronounce names that have 18 consonants in them. So that's all there is.
Not worth it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Just kill me now, Jason.
I can't get the metric system. I'm taking the chance with Jason.
Yeah. All right. Well, unless you had anything else to talk about, I'm pretty well tapped on this one. I guess we can go on to ratings.
I suppose so. I think I will go out of... I really like the premise a lot. There's a lot of fun qualities to this. It's a premise that I never would have thought of in a million years, and bravo to these people who thought of it. And gen breaking. So I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 elf feet.
Okay. Dismembered or attached?
Dismembered, of course.
Okay.
How dare you insult me?
I am a lot more negative on it than you. I can't lie. I did enjoy things about it, but it really does come in. It just it's doing enough well that I'm gonna be slightly positive on it, but not quite enough that I can forgive it all its wrongs. So I'm gonna give this 3 out of 5 nose ticks. Alrighty. Well, next time we'll be going into another franchise that Manos is just such a big fan of. He cannot wait to talk about this. We're going to talk about Christmas with Eggman from Belena Productions.
I have no idea what that is.
Eggman from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, okay, all right. I've heard of Sonic. All right.
Dr. Robotnik, maybe?
I've heard of that. I've heard people say that.
Okay. Well, should be a good time. Everyone, thanks very much for watching. Until next time, I'm the Christmas Philosopher.
And I'm the real Krampus.
And we are your Geeky Gentlemen. And we will be discussing things.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!